So this will be recorded throughout the rest of the year. When it gets to the individual Dharma teachers giving their talks, we will check in with them and give them the option of recording or not. And also within that, there's the kind of sub options for recording of either making it kind of publicly available, publicly on the DTO site, I believe was our intent, Craig, or that it could be recorded and then just kind of shared privately with the presenter and perhaps a small group of kind of trusted Sangha members to give feedback.
But if I may just jump in. So we've been, for the national and others, we have a YouTube channel. And so I've been putting them on YouTube, and YouTube has the option that you can make it publicly available so it shows up in a directory, anybody can see it. Or you can put it on, well, there are 3 different ways. You can also put it on YouTube where it's not publicly listed, but it is publicly available. So you have to have the URL, the specific URL, which is not really a guessable thing. So it's, it is obscure. And then you can also make it private. So you have to like sign into YouTube. But I was proposing the either publicly or with the obscure URL. So somebody would have to share that with you.
All right, thank you, Craig. Thanks for the clarification. So the other bookkeeping items for volunteers to read the precepts when we get to that point. Would someone like to read the first precept? Janet. And the second precept? Conrad. And the third precept? Ted. And the fourth? Heather. And the fifth? Craig. Thank you. Okay. So again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. So I guess I would like to give us a chance to settle in with 3 more sounds of the bell. So if you just get in a comfortable seated position and just gently focus on your breath with the sound of the bell. So now it is time for the incense offering, and welcome Fernando and Maeve. So I believe Craig will be offering the incense and the 3 refuges.
I need to unmute myself and then please rise for the incense ceremony. In gratitude We offer this incense to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting our careful efforts, our wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Please remain standing for the three refuges. You may make a full bow or a half bow after each refuge as fits your needs and situation. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in life. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. Please be seated.
So it is now time for the recitation of the 5 wonderful precepts. So I will sound the bell while perhaps Craig, I assume you'll be bringing that up on the screen.
Hi.
The first wonderful precept. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world or in my thinking or in my way of life. This is the first wonderful precept.
The second wonderful precept. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I vow to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I will practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need, who are in real need. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. This is the second wonderful precept.
The third wonderful precept. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to cultivate responsibility and learn ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without love or long-term commitment. To preserve the happiness of myself and others, I am determined to respect my commitments and the commitments of others. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. This is the third wonderful precept.
The fourth wonderful precept. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I vow to cultivate loving speech and deep listening in order to bring joy and happiness to others and to relieve others of their suffering. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I am determined to speak truthfully with words that inspire self-confidence, joy, and hope. I will not spread news that I do not know to be certain and will not criticize or condemn things of which I am not sure. I will refrain from uttering words that can cause division or discord, or that can cause the family or the community to break. I am determined to make all efforts to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small. This is the fourth wonderful precept.
The fifth wonderful precept. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I am determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I am aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. This is the fifth wonderful precept.
It's now time for the recitation of the Heart Sutra. I believe we've got a recording of this, Craig.
Yes.
I think oftentimes the recordings, the way they're done, if this is one of the Plum Village ones, they often do not have kind of the opening bells, if I remember correctly. So if you'd like to pull it up, but before we begin to play it, I will sound 3 more bells for us to settle for this very important and inspiring sutra.
The heart of the insight that brings us to the other shore. While practicing deeply within inside the
Recitation.